Okay, so the next segment is some Dasharo announcements, which we plan to have with our partners today. So the agenda will look as follows. We would like to present something which is called Dasharo entry subscription. I guess like some of you already know about the Dasharo subscription that you can that you're buying as a part of the MSI product. But we essentially trying to extend this product. We changed a little bit the name because previously there was Dasharo supporter entrance, which is kind of like maybe not the best name. Right now we will call it Dasharo entry subscription, and I do not promise we will not change this in future. So like just associate that with Dasharo subscription. So I will talk a little bit about the value proposition of that. Then I will announce something which is called Dasharo revenue sharing program, which we then announce some partners which already signed the Dasharo revenue sharing program. NitroKey and Nova Custom will tell a little bit about benefits they see in this program. And then we will switch to Dasharo supporting partner program, which is another program that we created to associate with friends like Insurgo to build. And okay, I will not spoil it. Like I will tell you at the correct point. Anyway, I will then overview this program. Then the first partner who joins that is Insurgo. So Thierry will explain what kind of benefits he sees in that, and then I will summarize whole presentation with the benefits of all these programs together, this subscription, this revenue sharing, this supporting partner, what kind of 3M Dev gets, and how we plan to innovate open source firmware ecosystem with that. Okay, so maybe let's start with Dasharo entry subscription. First of all, we know that we have this problem of how we earn on open source stuff, on open source firmware. Of course, like everything is open, so nobody in theory wants to pay for that. But in practice, it's not exactly like that. Some people who have time, so maybe it depends on the if you have more time than money, or you have more money than time. So I guess those who have more time than money, then they can hack whatever they want, and that's completely fine. We are okay with that. The code is there, the instructions are there. We hope they will transition into very productive users, testers, maybe in future in developers, contributors to open source firmware ecosystem, and we are completely fine with that. But there is this other group who kind of don't want to waste so much time on setting up the tool chain, testing everything, making sure that firmware I'm flashing will not show me the magic smoke from my device. So maybe I will have some small insurance in form of small fee, which is called a Dasharo entry subscription, which would be renewed every year. So I can have this assurance of validated firmware binary signed by a trusted party known in the open source firmware ecosystem. So that's what Dasharo entry subscription is, and where we're trying to address is that's the audience which we're trying to address with this offer. What Dasharo entry subscription gives. So first of all, those are the special updates. So this is early access to some enhancing privacy, security features, performance, compatibility features. So essentially, we yearly release binaries to those who paid for the subscription. Of course, if someone wants to glue something themselves from the code which is on the repository, that's completely fine. Those releases, those supporter releases or special updates are more frequent and going directly to the inbox of the subscriber. After some time, we release the community releases, which we just squash all the special releases into one community release and publish that to everyone. I will show that on some flows on the next slide. Of course, there is an exclusive newsletter. We have to have good marketing name for that. This is like comprehensive and meaningful release notes with the links to the documentation, how to use given feature. Then there is this documentation. There is software bill of materials assigned to that. What kind of components we included, where we get those components. And of course, if someone wants to either use it first time for the initial deployment of the open source firmware on their hardware, either do the update, the instruction is there. Then, of course, something may still not work. There may be some hardware configuration which needs support. was not covered during testing or something like that. For that, we have Premier support. There is a dedicated Matrix channel, Dasharo Premier support, to which we invite only those who paid for the subscription. And finally, over this channel and over discussion, over the vPubs, over the Dasharo user group, people can join and try to influence Dasharo, say, okay, I'm paying this subscription. I would like to have raise your attention to this given issue or to this given feature, and they can, in that way, drive the development of Dasharo in correct direction. So why we even get to that point of creating this subscription, and like why we even thinking about this bad thing that we want to sell subscriptions? So first of all, we got quite a lot of attention from various media about the MSI last year, and like we were very happy with that. It was a lot of noise. Then we started to sell the board, main board alone, main board with recovery kit, main board like full PC build. Also the CubesOS certified version called Fidelis Guard, and everything was associated with this supporters entrance, which is called right now Dasharo entry subscription fee for a year. Or someone could buy even for multiple years. And to be honest, we were very surprised with the response of the market, that people essentially buying that. Like people essentially want. Some people even bought that for next 3 years. So it's very interesting that either they want to support us, either they really think that there is value in this newsletter or in this support stuff. So I'm very happy that community gave us market signal that this works, and I just want to scale that. The problem that 3MDev has to some extent is that we are a small company, not specialized in logistic stuff, in the hardware selling stuff, and that's why we decided to do something about that. That's why we created the Dasharo revenue sharing program, where the flow exactly looks as follows. So we have our customers, which so far were happy to buy the hardware with Dasharo subscription or the subscription alone. And we decided to include a new entity into this equation. Instead of selling that everything through Dasharo team or 3MDev shop, we decided we need someone who we call Dasharo entry subscription reseller. Thanks to that entity, we can recommend those entities on our website, so people in other area of the globe, in various countries, can buy from those parties. And this works in that way that customer buying from those parties, the Dasharo entry subscription reseller collects those payments, takes some small amount from that, send the rest to us, and thanks to that we can support Dasharo development in long run. Of course, there is one more piece in this equation, which we call Dasharo supporting partner. And Dasharo supporting partner is someone who helps us in development of Dasharo, in development of various versions of Dasharo, and I will tell a little bit about that on the further slides. So we hope this mechanism will work and this mechanism will scale. In that way, we can essentially spread the word and spread the mechanism of having spread the open source firmware ecosystem faster, and build a good relation with those companies who really care about selling hardware with open source firmware. Yeah, so I guess I would like to announce that our first notable Dasharo revenue selling partner is NitroKey, and I would like Jan to say a little bit about the benefits that he see in this program. So maybe I will share, Jan, your slides, and you can. Do you see it? I guess it should be seen.
I see it, yes. Okay. Yeah, thank you. So Piotr, it was actually Piotr's idea for this collaboration. I really much appreciate this, because I think it allows both our companies to focus on their strengths and what they are doing all day long and what they are good in. So, and from the NitroKey perspective, this means that we can focus on things which, say, other companies may not even want to get used in, like you need to get, if you want to provide a good customer experience, like somebody orders a hardware device, he or she expected to arrive in a certain amount of time in a good quality. And so this requires to have the purchasing process and purchasing sources under control. Also to get the hardware delivered and purchased in a certain quality as expected, to have some quality controls, to have it also available in the warehouse. These are all, from a technical perspective, maybe not very exciting things, but things which you may assume to be granted when you order something at any seller. And this is something we at NitroKey have been doing now for several years, and I think we are now pretty good at, especially for these products which we have, and where we don't purchase in say huge quantities like millions, but a few hundreds or thousands. These are different challenges than for larger companies, and I think we have this pretty much under control. And this allows us also then to produce and to ship the devices relatively fast, usually in a couple of days, depending on the device, maybe even at the same day. And also have some experience with the shipments. Again, something not very exciting, no rocket science, but something we have learned now over the years, say which shipment service works well in which country. There are very much different qualities. And then, as mentioned also earlier, when introducing NitroKey, we provide additional services such as sealing packages, sending pictures of these individual seals to customers via email so that they're allowed to verify it and to ensure that the package has not been tampered with, provide additional support services around these orders. And since we are doing all these things every day anyways, except beside of our technical development, of course, it's relatively easy for us to add new products now, where 3M Lab is going to provide the technical foundation, and add these products now to our portfolio and provide here the same quality. I hope at the same time this allows 3M Lab to focus in more on their developing and strengths, so that we all together will get a better ecosystem with better availability of open source hardware, or at least hardware with open source firmware. So that's it from my side.
Thank you very much, Jan. Yeah, definitely agree. So, let me introduce the second partner, which is Nova Custom. So Nova Custom also decided we already have relation with Nova Custom, and Nova Custom decided for some models to be part of this revenue sharing partnership agreement. And let me share. I don't know, like, Wessel, do you want to share your presentation, or I should share yours?
Yeah, you can share mine. That would be great.
I guess
There it is.
This one, or maybe I will.
Yeah, this one is correct.
This is correct, or maybe I should just do the slideshow here.
Yeah.
Sure. Let me. I want to share the Wessel's screen. Do you see it?
Yes, there it is.
Okay.
Thank you, Piotr. So from our side, the great benefit of this program is that some kind of code can be shared with other joiners, and this will, of course, for us decrease the development costs. Also, that Dasharo offers Premio support directly to the customer is really a great thing for us, because we do not have the specialized support in-house. So this also allows the end customer to get support even faster. There was no need for us anymore to interfere for firmware-related issues. It goes directly to these specialists. And with this kind of program, we don't have to make a lot of huge investments, so it takes down the risks. So yeah, those are the benefits for us.
Okay, thank you, Wessel. Yeah, completely agree with that, and we'll summarize at the end with more of my my stuff. But let me go to the next slide, where I would like to talk a little bit about. I guess you see my slides, but I would like to make sure that I can switch that. Okay, why doesn't this work? Okay, I guess you see my next slide. It's about the second program which we created to even improve this ecosystem. So right now we have this Dasharo revenue sharing, but there is this part of the firmware which would be better handled by other specialists in the ecosystem. And it may happen that we would like to have partners which will help us support all this stuff and all these problems, and together we can build stronger and better support for everyone. So the idea here that I described is Dasharo supporting partner agreement. So considering we have this revenue sharing partners, Dasharo entry subscription resellers, we adding this partner, and let's say the customers will have some problems with the firmware, or with the compatibility, or the results of the tests, or reproducibility of the code, or whatever problems they may have. They send some initial request. They typically contact the seller, the one who sold the hardware with the subscription, and the seller decide if this is like kind of something they can handle in terms of it's related to hardware or it's related to firmware. If it's related to firmware, it goes to us. So it's escalated to Dasharo team. But Dasharo team may analyze that and decide that this going to some other stuff. Like, for example, if we're talking about Dasharo version, which consists of core boot and heads, then we probably would like to talk. With Thierry, who's specialist and who maintains heads for many years. And we definitely know that if we show some problem to Thierry will very quickly know, like, okay, this is here or there. And then in that way, we simplify all the bug resolving pipeline. Yeah, and there may be other sources of customer requests. This customers can go directly to the primary support channel, not go through the reseller, but go directly to primary support and say, like, this doesn't work. And on this channel, there will be Dasharo team, and there will be also our partners like Insurgo, which I will announce in a minute. And then we can together decide, okay, this is in this area, or this is potentially in that area, and this is how we should deal with that. Or maybe this is somehow duplicate of something else. And then we have incentive to fix that long-standing bug in the firmware. And there are also Dasharo public channels like GitHub issues, which we also can then analyze. First of all, check if the person who's reporting the stuff is a subscriber or not subscriber, because the service level agreement depends a lot on that. And if this is subscriber and this needs escalation to the partner, we're doing this flow. So this is essentially how we imagine it will work. We will see. This is like essentially one big, we can say, experiment, but we believe this will scale. And I would like to introduce Insurgo as our first supporting partner. So Thierry, thanks for joining this. Thanks for believing this, and tell us more a little bit about benefits that you see in this program. And the question is if I should share your presentation or I should.
Please
okay.
share.
Yeah, I will do that. Just give me a second.
and I promise to skip really fast because I have a I have a tendency of being longer than I should. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm looking for it. Okay, let me go with this. Start from current slide, I guess, and then I have to share window. This one. Just tell me next slide if you need it.
full screen.
Is it full screen or it's not?
No, it's not.
So maybe this is not this window. Just me try me differently. This is this one. Correct? Or...
Yes. Okay, but this is me. Basically, the important part there is that I'm currently the Ed's main maintainer. I started the Privacy Beast, the re-ownership wizard, and everything back in 2017. Next slide. The goal of all we are doing, I think, is to be an alternative to the closed source firmware supply chain. So this is what we have right now normally. Next slide. And this is what we have with EDS today. Next slide. So basically what is EDS? EDS is a payload and a build system. The reason why EDS is interesting inside a payload is that it acts as the bootloader. So next slide. So basically EDS is core boot and Linux as the payload. So basically we are differing all the tasks related to parsing the grub configuration and everything inside of the Linux payload, which includes all the tools that are needed to be able to run a recovery environment, to produce beautiful graphics and everything to the point of launching the final OS, which is basically a key exec into the operating system after having applied and verified the security policies. So making sure the computer is in the state that we expect it to be. Next slide. So we said earlier that Ed was a payload and also a build system. That's what I will get into. I just wanted this to be in the recording so that we can discuss that later on. Basically, it's a make project. So the complication inside of Eds is to have like the reproducible builds as a goal. And then the outcome of that is to produce artifacts that are supposed to be reproducible. And that's where we like having multiple people looking into this will be interesting. Next slide. Oh, okay. So basically, Insurgo benefits as a partner in this revenue sharing is that, just like Peter said before me, the more people, the more qualified people we will be into looking at the code and being able like to resolve the issues that may come is to be multiple people aware of where are the problems. For example, 3MDev is more an expert into like embedded systems, making like, dealing with auto tools and everything. As of right now, like the build system of EDS works for Debian 11. We all know in the core boot communities that like building reproducibly like an outcome is complicated. So the next step will be to actually finish that and being able to have like core boot as a payload that is completely reproducible, thanks to Nix that's coming, as a build system. So being able to tackle the issue of reproducible once and for all, and then be attaining a better sustainability for the project, because as of right now, EDS is based on NLNet funding. I worked a lot like to sell products to be able to do R&D. So the goal with all of this, if we are able to get a sustainable money stream, would be to maintain partly as being paid and having like other funding to tackle the research parts. So the get home message for all of this, to me, to Insurgo into EDS, is a better collaboration into EDS. So more knowledge sharing. It's already happening without this revenue sharing. Like 3MDev is collaborating a lot through power efforts and everything. Like I like the experience that we have right now. And everything that is happening inside of it is actually benefiting the rest of the ecosystem. So I see a world where core boot will be able to produce their own ROMs so that like testing will be easier for the whole community. So yeah, expand the open source firmware ecosystem, the feature, its reach, and its support. That's what I see as Benefit as a partner and the whole ecosystem. That's it.
Thank you very much, Thierry. It's like I have all of these hopes also. We will see where this will going, but if we will not trying, we will not fail, and if we will not fail, we will not learn. So
Exactly.
so we have to learn, and that's I guess the most important thing. Let me try to get back to my slides. I guess I have a couple more. So I know we are already tight on schedule, but yeah, so I don't know if I can fit in 1 minute. I will try, but essentially I would like to summarize all the stuff that was said by Jan, by Wessel, by Thierry, and kind of present that also from the 3M perspective and how we see this. So first thing is like 3M is not known from selling hardware. It's like we are not hardware selling experts, and to be honest, we also like want to focus on the correct area. So revenue sharing is our idea of reaching wider market, of amplifying the scalability and adoption of the open source firmware, of course through Dasharo, the Dasharo distribution. But I guess like if this model will work, other will look at it and maybe they will try to mimic it and try to do the same. So I hope this will bring some fresh air to innovation in the business models for the open source firmware. I guess the efficient bug resolving is very important, because if we have multiple partners like operating on the same hardware, then like we have like a lot more feedback from the users, and fixing one bug will help everyone. It's not like okay, this customer got this bug, we're fixing it, okay, releasing for them, and then maybe other customer got that bug. We have to backport that bug to this tree, and so on and so on. This is like constant problem in maintaining long-term support for some platforms. We believe that the extended support will allow us to deliver the value after market, like after the devices even are not on the market. Like let's say at some point the 11th generation, 12th generation devices will be old one, and maybe those will be not so popular. Let's say we will be at, I don't know, 16th generation or 15th generation, but there may be people which will still use those devices, and they will be able to get the Dasharo entry subscription and get the support for the firmware. Whatever will happen with the operating system innovation and changes, we could adjust to that and make those old devices working. Jan said very well about this focus and doing what we are best in. So 3M does the open source firmware development. We are open source firmware vendor, independent BIOS vendor. We are doing development of the firmware. The hardware, logistics, regulations regarding that, customer support, like massive customer support, is not our strength. It's something that we would be glad to delegate to our partners and share with them the value that we generate. Revenue diversification is also very, very important, because adding the subscription and revenue sharing, we can make everything more sustainable. It's not about like porting all the new devices. Porting devices to the to core boot, to whatever framework we have, is like building the bigger code base, and bigger code base we have, more developers we need to maintain. So it's not only about building like hundreds of ports by one company, because this company, if it's too small, will not be able to handle the problems caused by generating so much code. And there are always bugs, as we know. So it's better to try to go with the scale and have as many devices delivered on the same code base than having like multiple code bases. So our sources of revenue are porting new devices, but additional source of revenue could be this revenue sharing of the Dasharo entry subscription fee. And finally, we kind of feel like those who are with us for some time understand that we feel responsible for this ecosystem. We feel that this ecosystem is filled with the small players, like huge empty space, and hyperscalers. So there is like in between there is empty space, which needs some guidance, which needs some animation, which needs some stewardship and some responsible ideas generation, and people that will follow that and try and maybe fail, but they will learn and to build something that is sustainable in between. And that's how 3MDev sees itself as someone who proposed this new, hopefully sustainable business models. About supporting partner program, I guess with Thierry, we always have this great technical discussion for long vPubs, like trying to resolve various stuff, trying to understand how things should be done. So this mutual technological development and sharing knowledge is very important for us. Of course, in this also focus on the frameworks that we are best in. 3MDev does EDK2 payload, does the core boot stuff. We do also low-level security technologies. We also know a little bit of Linux, so we can help with heads. That's completely fine. But some areas of heads are specific to Thierry, to his maintainership in the project, and that's how we would like to divide the work and share our knowledge and our time. Of course, community building. Thanks to that, we can meet together and plan how things should go forward together. And of course, some revenue generation for those small projects, which right now do not have huge injection of money. Like, I guess there is no open source firmware project which got huge injection of money, but I guess like at least we will try to add something to the stake so it would be easier to move forward. Yeah, so finally, like how to join the program, just contact us, send us email that you are interested. Typical question which we will ask is like what kind of hardware you would like to use for this revenue sharing program, or what kind of technology you can support us in. Then of course we will definitely ask question about the annual volumes, because we would like to know what kind of support we can deal with. And then what Dasharo or open source firmware version you are interested in. Is it like Dasharo core boot plus heads? Is it Dasharo core boot plus UEFI? Or whatever, I don't know, whatever other combination, CBIOS, or like whatever other combination you will need. Yeah, just send us email, contact us, and that's it. So I guess, I don't know, we probably don't have time for questions, but we can discuss all this stuff during the vPub.